All right, we're back going over to task 7. And task 7, we are going to get task 7 opened in the content outline. Now let's get it opened. And I will share this on the screen because this is a good reminder for everyone. All right, so let's go to domain 4 and task 7. And this is all about reducing distractions. Now here we go. Reduce distractions in order to establish a predictable outcome. So let's look at it, Roy, and I'll give you a few moments to comment on it. So if you haven't downloaded this or begun to take a look at it, this is a good reminder for you to do so before your exam. I know we're covering it, but it would be a good thing for you to do this on your own. So Roy, any comments about task 7, the way I've shown it in its unfiltered form? Comments?
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to try to get the team to be able to focus on the work that they've planned. And the best way to do that is to try to reduce the distractions from outside the team. And those distractions could be a lot of different things. They could be new requirements. They could be VIPs coming in and asking status. Somebody saying, hey, buddy, would you mind doing this work for me? All these kinds of things cause some distractions and makes the team no longer focus on getting the work done. The team deserves to be able to focus. So the more somebody comes in and bothers them, the less focus they have and the more poorly they're going to do. So Phil, let me ask you this. Whose job is it primarily to help reduce those distractions? What do you think?
If there is someone with a title Scrum Master, better be a diversion shield.
Yeah, you got it, right? Protect your team, get in the middle, play blocker, right?
Yeah.
Make sure that your team doesn't get distracted so they can do their jobs.
Absolutely. And that's the purpose. We're trying to optimize performance. And at the end of the day, we're going to optimize the value delivered. And let's talk a little bit more about the diversion shield, because some people say, well, does it mean that stakeholders and the customer are banned from working with the developers? And that's not the case, is it, Roy?
Not at all. No, absolutely. They're still going to help out. They're going to do their jobs. They're good corporate stewards, but they do deserve an opportunity to focus, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the Scrum Master. Now just be aware, as Roy alluded to, the name, the Scrum Master, of course, when we're talking about what is the name, Roy, that Ken and Jeff have changed it to? It's not responsibilities anymore.
Accountabilities.
Accountabilities, there we go. So the accountabilities of the Scrum Master, that would be one of the things you expect. But the PMI, in their infinite wisdom, when they give you questions, will not always call the person a Scrum Master. And if you haven't already done so, I want to remind you about the Agile Practice Guide, because there's a certain page here where the PMI go into different roles of the team and names that you would call people. And apart from team facilitator, you have a whole host of other names. And while I don't have that page at the tip of my tongue, I just want to remind you to read the book at least once, even do a refresh, because PMI, they're changing stuff all the time, but they're also changing it based on some of their publications like that.
It's on page 40 and 41.
Oh, thank you very much. Page 41. There's a table. There we go. That's the table. Thank you so much. So team facilitator. There we go. It says words. The third role typically seen on Agile teams is of a team facilitator, a servant leader. Then it says this role may be called a project manager, scrum master, project team lead, team coach, or team facilitator. Kind of all sorts of names, Roy.
I've seen them also delivery lead, capability manager. There are so many different names. The reality is most companies retain the word Scrum Master, the term Scrum Master, because go out and on the internet and try to find somebody to fit any of those other role names. Those titles don't really exist. So Scrum Master is industry recognized, so you've got a better chance, right?
Absolutely. All right, with that, let's take a look at a question to close this out. And this is about the Agile team has completed a few sprints. I will let you read it, give you a minute and a bit. So let's relaunch the poll. I will relaunch it. Ten seconds. Three, two, and one. All right. So let's take a look. So in these, there's always going to be some that we can get rid of and some that are not very good ideas. So A, reduce the frequency of daily scrums. So you want us to meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay. No.
Defeats the name daily, doesn't it? Daily.
Doesn't it? Probably not. All right, let's take a look at D. Reduce the duration of daily scrum meetings. So if daily scrums affected velocity so much, my goodness, we're in trouble. Maybe they're having 10-hour daily scrums.
Yeah. Now, if they're doing like you mentioned, a 1 or 2 hour daily scrum, yeah, okay, that'll certainly help. But hopefully you're not doing that. That's a symptom of a bigger problem.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's the 15-minute time box you're obeying.
Yep.
All right, so we're left with B and C. B, increase the number of stories planned per iteration. So I want to kind of poke around in the beds of the question again. So it says, completed a few sprints, has a fairly good idea about its rate of completing work. The team felt they could improve their velocity even further by taking some measures. So it didn't sound like they were absolutely maxed out. Or absolutely not maxed out, therefore needing more stories. And besides, that isn't the best way to go about it, because that could lead to some problems, couldn't it?
It can lead to the opposite, right? Where you actually, if you take on more work, that might actually lead the team to do more thrashing and multitasking, feeling the pressure. And, it's not that like we're all sitting around singing Kumbaya, we got to get work done, right? So we do want to have a slight amount of pressure in the team. But often when you intentionally take on more stories than you can complete, it often has the opposite effect where the team's output goes down as a result of that.
Yeah, so you want to choose some softer variables to work with, not the number of stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So in light of that, we're going to get rid of B. And we're just going to go with teamwork, making the dream work, supporting teamwork.
And that gives you the option of increasing stories if you have extra time as a result. So we're not forcing it, we're encouraging it, right?
Just happens naturally.
Exactly right.
So supporting teamwork will free up team members to get stuff done quicker. So let's read the rationale Roy put here. Reducing the daily stand-up can have a very negative impact on velocity. Simply increasing the number of stories planned without action to improve will likely cause multitasking, as Roy said, and reduce quality. And team members working together rather than in silos can dramatically increase velocity.
Yep. T-shape versus I-shape, right? Encourage T-shape skills, your velocity is going to go up.
That's what's at the crux of this one. Great stuff. Thank you, Roy. And that concludes our task.